There are really only three types of knives that you need: a good quality chef's knife, a paring knife, and a serrated knife. With a chef's knife, you want to look for a knife that's got some weight to it. They generally come in lengths of about 8 to 10 inches, and you want to look for one that feels really good in your hand. They can be a bit pricey, but if you take care of it, it's going to last you for a lifetime, if not longer. And you are probably going to use this knife 80 to 90% of the time, so if you only invest in one knife, get a good quality chef's knife. Then the paring knife. These are generally about 4 inches in length, and you can use these for small jobs like peeling and cleaning vegetables, slicing cheese, that sort of thing. Finally, the serrated knife. These are super handy for cutting anything that wants to squish, like bread or tomatoes, cakes, that sort of thing. Okay, so how do you actually use these knives that you've invested in? The first thing you want to do is to always pay attention. Even with the best knife skills, if you're not paying attention, there's a good chance that you're going to cut yourself. So think about how to stabilize your situation, whatever it is. If you've got a cutting board that wants to move around a little bit like this one does, the first thing to do is to stabilize your cutting board. So you can take a slightly damp kitchen towel and place it underneath your board, as flat as you can, and it's going to help stabilize your board. Next, how do you actually hold on to your knife? You want to take your hand and grip your knife as firmly as possible, wrapping your fingers around the hilt of the knife. You can actually place your fingers on the blade if that's comfortable for you, or as close to the blade as possible. Then with your other hand, you want to curl your fingers underneath so you get a nice flat surface here where you can place the knife. You want to place your knife right up against those fingers, and then placing the tip of the knife on the board, gently rock up and down, or using a chopping motion, go up and down. But with those fingers curled underneath, even if something goes awry with your knife, you're not very likely to cut yourself. All right, so let's actually cut something. We've got a carrot here. The first thing that you want to do is cut off any yucky parts like the ends. So take your knife, nice firm grip, and then grasping the carrot well away from where you're going to be cutting, just trim off those extra ends. Now, how can we make this more stable? First of all, we're going to cut it in half so it's a little bit easier to manage. Again, fingers, hands well out of the way, or using that claw grip right up close, slice it in half. How can we break it down further so that it's easier to deal with? You want a nice flat surface to work with. So taking that claw grip, gently slice it as close in half as you can. Now you have a nice flat surface to place on the cutting board so your food is stable. Blade right up next to the fingers, rock the knife back and forth, slicing the food. If you want to break it down further, you can cut the carrot in half again. And slice. If you want to break it down further still, you can take that hand that you had in the claw and actually extend it and place it on top of the blade with the fingers up and out of the way so that they won't be cut, and then just gently run the knife through the food. Back and forth, rocking the knife up and down. And then every once in a while, wipe off your blade, use the knife to gather your food back together. And just keep on cutting until you reach the desired consistency. Okay, that's it. How to use a chef's knife. All right, the paring knife. This is probably the scariest knife to use because you actually cut towards yourself when you're using it. So first of all, how to hang on to it. You want to wrap your fingers around the knife as close to the blade as possible, leaving your thumb free. Now with the thumb, you're actually going to guide the food toward the blade rather than moving the blade towards you. So take your potato or whatever it is that you're peeling or cleaning up, and just gently use your thumb in control, taking your time, pay attention. Press the food toward the blade, like so. Okay, finally the serrated knife, perfect for anything squishy like tomatoes. The thing to keep in mind with a serrated knife is to use the entire length of the blade. If you use a serrated knife and press straight down on your food, you're going to squish it. So you want to Use a nice, gentle, fluid sawing motion using as much of the blade as possible. That will allow you to get nice, thin, smooth cuts. And there you have it, all of the basic knife skills that you need to be the master of your own kitchen. To get more great lessons like this and to stay up to date on all the yummy goodness at Taste of the Place, then be sure to subscribe to Taste of the Place on YouTube or like us on Facebook.